Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as I promised you guys, I wanted to go into this new week. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and let's get fresh started into a new week. So this week, as I mentioned to you guys last week, I wanted to incorporate is Hypertrophy Series. Okay, so those of you who obviously are interested in building lean muscle mass, even people who are in their older stages of life who want to just build a little bit of strength, a little bit of muscle. This is a great little series to incorporate for you guys. I'm going to start off in this first session by talking about certain types of training methods that allow you to build muscle. Okay, this is specifically more for those of you who are a little bit more advanced, or those of you who are starting off or really want to build muscle. Okay, these methods really have been proven by a lot of study and research to really try to build the muscle that you need, that you want to get to based on your ultimate goal. Okay, so I'm going to show you each one of these methods one by one to try to explain to you guys how it works, okay, and why it is so successful. And I'm also going to show you also some exercises that you can do to give you an example of how to do them. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So again, this is basically a learning. It's a learning video for you guys to understand exactly how to build your body a certain way. Okay, as you obviously know, the most effective way to start off, if you're the kind of person who's a beginner, is by starting off by obviously doing basic strength training. Okay, so basic strength training, obviously working on that stabilization endurance phase by building some core strength, LPHC strength, and also lower and upper. Okay, just in a basic strength training level is also very important to start. Okay, as you progress, as your muscles get stronger, as you build more strength throughout your whole entire body, then you can progress to doing these kind of methods. A lot of these methods are a little bit more advanced. I don't recommend for you beginners who are starting out still trying to build muscle to do it at first. But as you progress after a while, after maybe about 4 to 6 months, if you dedicate yourself, you're more than welcome to incorporate these kind of programs into your daily routines. Okay, so again, the first thing we're going to go over is a method known as supersetting. Okay, for those of you not familiar with supersetting is basically incorporating 2 exercises together back to back, okay, without any pause. Okay, so for example, you decide you want to do a chest press mixed in with a bent over row. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example. So when you come down here, for example, you're going to come in, you're going to do a chest press. Okay, so you do 12 reps, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, couple more, 11, and 12. Then right after that, you're going to follow it along with a little bent over row. Now the bent over rows, okay, I'm just going to show you guys with the knees, but you're obviously going to be doing it standing up. But it's basically just coming in like this, okay? So do another 12 reps, 3, 4. All right, guys. So that is what is known as a superset method. Now the superset methods, as I mentioned, it is definitely a little bit more advanced than a lot of people may think. Okay, it's not for somebody who's starting off. Just because you have to build enough endurance in your muscles to be able to support this method. Okay, so if your muscles are capable of doing it, feel free to use it. It's 2 exercises back to back. Okay, just chest and back, or maybe shoulders and legs. Okay, or it can be also the same muscle group. So you should say, for example, you want to do 2 exercises for the chest press, and then some push-ups, for example. That's another good way of doing it. You do it back to back, and then you rest for about 45 seconds to a minute. Okay, and if you want to do another superset after that, you're more than welcome to as well. Okay, supersetting, as I mentioned, is not something it's an advanced method, so it's not something you should be doing every single day. Okay, these are very, very specific techniques that have a higher intensity incorporated into the method. So you have to make sure to do it no more than twice a week. Okay, is what I recommend. 2-3 times tops. And if you're one of those guys who's more advanced, who's a bodybuilder, you're more than welcome to do maybe 3. But again, it's not supposed to be done every single day. Okay. In addition to that, obviously, there's a couple others you can incorporate as well, which are a little bit more advanced. So say, for example, you start doing the supersets, and you realize after a while that your muscles can incorporate a little bit higher intensity. You're more than welcome to incorporate, for example, a tricep, which is 3 exercises back to back. So if you do a chest press followed by a lat pull down, and then you can incorporate maybe a shoulder press in there as well to work in. Okay, so that's what we call a tricep, or you can do obviously 3 exercises of the same muscle group together as well, obviously working the same body part. Okay, and make sure after those 3 exercises back to back, you rest for about 45 seconds to a minute. Okay, remembering also, guys, that when you do these methods, you have to make sure that you incorporate a specific type of intensity in terms of your overall one max rep. So, for example, what I recommend for those of you who want to build lean muscle mass, anywhere between 80 to 85% intensity based on your one max rep is recommended. So, for example, you do the bench press, and you do your fail point is 1 to 2 reps at 245 pounds. Okay, so you want to decrease that basically about 20 to 25%. That would be your overall range, your rep range. Okay, so anywhere between 8 to 12 is what I recommend. Okay, so basically 80 to 85% intensity of your overall one max rep is what I recommend for building muscle. For those of you who are a little bit more into intermediate level, definitely recommend that. Advanced as well. All right. And aside from that, if you want to go even heavier than that, the next method to use is the giant set method, which is basically 4 exercises back to back or higher, and then obviously you usually rest anywhere between 1 minute to 2 minutes. Okay, so these are training methods that are very successful. They've been proven through a lot of different researchers and scientists that work into the fitness scheme to be able to incorporate these things for you guys to do. Okay, I've done it myself. I've had plenty of experience. It's very effective. I definitely recommend it. Okay, switching over to the next one. So after that, again, we're going into heavier intensities as you go on. Okay, so the next one I recommend also is another method. It's a little bit more intense even on top of the supersets. It's called the pyramid system. Now the pyramid system is basically divided into two different ways. Okay, there's the increased weight factor and there's the decreased weight factor. Okay, so for those of you who obviously want to build muscle, this is a wonderful technique to use, okay, because it really will allow you to not only build muscle, but build a lot of endurance in those muscles so you can build strength as you go on as well. Okay, so the pyramid system is something that a lot of bodybuilders use, a lot of people who are really trying hard to develop themselves into certain types of athletes. Okay, it's a method that a lot of people use as well. Okay, so the increased weight factor technique is basically using, for example, a 3 splits set. So, for example, you do a 12 reps, 10 reps, and 8 reps. Okay, so you do a decreasing rep range with an increased weight factor. So that's one side of it. And then the decreased side is basically you doing, so for example, you start off at 8 reps, do 10, and then 12. You increase the rep range, and you decrease the weight factor. Okay, so both of those are very, very effective incorporated into this pyramid system. Okay, try out by using first the decreased weight factor first. Okay, start off with a higher weight and then go down as you go on. It's a little bit easier to do in my opinion because I've had plenty of experience with this. And then you can incorporate an increased weight factor after that. Okay, the decrease is what I recommend first. Okay, the next one after that is something that a lot of people have questions about, guys, and it's totally understandable. Okay, it's known as the rest pause technique. Now, the rest pause basically is an intensity technique that allows you basically to increase added reps after your fail point. Okay, it's not really something that should be used as an actual set exercise, but it should be used at the end of each set. So, for example, you do a set for maybe about 8 to 10 reps at a certain amount of weight. Let's say maybe like 120 pounds on the bench press. Okay, and then you get to that point, you're trying to fail. Okay, to get that extra boost in there, what you do is you rest for about 20 seconds, which is a very limited amount of rest for your muscles to recover. Okay, and then after that, you do another maybe 4 to 6 reps. And if you want to do another 20-second rest after that, and then another 4 to 6 reps, you will up to as well. It's basically to increase the fatigue a little bit, extend the fatigue a little bit more. Okay, so you get into that point, you're failing, you rest for 20 seconds, you go for an extra 4 to 6 reps until fail point again. Okay, so that technique is known as the rest pause technique, and it's also very effective for you guys who want to build a little bit more muscle endurance and strength, to try and get some extra reps in there. Okay, it's a great little motivational booster for those of you who really want to build that muscle that you want. Okay. And the last one I'm going to go into is, again, I've only used this a couple times, but it's also very effective. Again, it's very, very advanced, so I don't recommend you starting off with this straight away because it requires a lot of endurance in your overall body composition. Okay, so for example, it's known as the blitz method. Okay, so the blitz method is basically targeting one body part a day. Now, the reason why this is so hard is because you're basically you're doing anywhere between 4 to 8 reps exercises for that same body part. It's a lot of pressure on that body part. Okay, if you're the kind of person who likes to increase the intensity, okay, come to the gym pretty often, so frequency becomes a factor. If you stay there for about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, the duration becomes a factor, and you increase the weight factor as you go on. This method honestly should be used only when you've progressed to the next to the 4 levels that I've showed you before, the 4 methods. Okay, this is very advanced. It's more for bodybuilders who want to build specific types of body parts. Okay, but again, it's another method that I think is very beneficial. So you basically want to focus on that to build that same body part. Okay, all right, guys. Hopefully this has helped. Again, I was just trying to show you. This is basically an informational video. Just to kind of teach you a little bit about certain types of training methods that you can incorporate it into your routine if you're the kind of person who wants to build muscle. Okay, don't forget to incorporate the other 3 parts of it too, which is basically proper hydration. You have to make sure to hydrate yourself on a regular basis. You have to make sure to eat properly, so make sure to give yourself the meals that you need on a given day. All right, consistency with your nutrition is key, and on top of that, it's important for you to get that proper rest, because as we all know, the only way to build muscle, to build strength, guys, is through proper rest. Okay, so hope you like this video. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to come in and show you guys, go into a little workout program for you guys to show you some exercises that we can do to build muscle. Okay, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.